chosen one, come close. I'm not here to hype you, I'm here to hold you while the ground shifts under your feet. Tonight is the hush before the change. And tomorrow, Sunday the 17th of August, you may wake up feeling weak, a little unsteady, like your spirit is walking through water. Don't panic. Don't run to fill the silence. That feeling isn't the end. It's the signal you've been praying for. When the current changes, the body feels it first. When heaven rearranges a room, the noise stops before the furniture moves. Stay inside. If this is reading your life out loud, seal it with your mouth so your doubts don't eat it later. Comment, I'm staying inside this Sunday to lock it in. Hit subscribe so you don't miss what's next. And share this with the one person who's been shaking and calling it failure. Back to you. Let me talk to the version of you that knows about cold floors at 3:11 a.m. The version that has washed her face in the dim light of a phone and whispered, I can't keep doing this. Only to keep doing this for another year. I know the flavor of those days when you ate your own voice to keep the peace, when you made every room comfortable while your bones trembled, when you smiled at people who wouldn't have noticed if you vanished except for the chores you did for their ego. I know the days you couldn't hold a fork without your hand shaking. The mornings when even toothpaste felt heavy, the afternoons when a simple text sent your nervous system sprinting like a siren went off inside your chest. You kept going because you're trained in endurance. You kept going because you thought love meant self-erasure. You kept going because faith was sold to you as permanent smiling. You kept going because nobody told you that real strength cries in bathrooms and still makes dinner. Remember those rooms where you swallowed every truth because the person across from you weaponized your honesty into ammunition. Remember the way your heart learned to count steps from the front door to the bedroom because safety lived in closets, not people? Remember the day your favorite song made you cry because the voice in it sounded free and you didn't? There were weeks your body felt like a haunted house. Doors slamming for no reason, lights flickering, air cold where it should have been warm. There were months you were loyal to a war that didn't deserve you, believing that if you stayed long enough in fire, it would learn how to love you back. It didn't. It only learned how to burn you slower. And yet, you're here. That's not small. That's not nothing. That's evidence. You didn't break. You bent. You didn't drown. You learned your own lungs. You didn't disappear. You learned how to walk softer. And now a quieter strength is coming. So quiet, you'll think it's weakness. It's not. Tomorrow's I don't have it in me is the doorway. Tomorrow's soft bones are the welcome mat. Listen, there are watchers, not the kind that clap for you, not the kind that announce themselves with love bomb confetti. Spiritual watchers. Some are righteous. They've carried your name in prayer through nights you thought were empty, and they guard the edges of your story like sentinels who won't sleep on duty. And some aren't. They are the eyes that study your rhythm to keep you predictable, the silent subscribers to your pain who refresh your life just to see if the light finally went out. Both kinds are watching this hour. Both will notice the shift. The faithful ones will nod. Finally, they're resting. The other kind will glitch. Why isn't the old bait working? They will try the same keys with a changed lock. Let them rattle the handle. Stay inside. You are not weak. You are charging. You are not late. You are being synced. Think about your phone at 3%, how you stop everything to find a plug. You don't apologize to the charger. You don't explain yourself to the outlet. You sit down and connect. That's what Sunday, 17th August is for you. An unashamed sit down with your source. Close the door on the noise. Pull the blinds on the performance. Let the battery turn green without narrating your worth to anyone. Your energy has been bleeding through 1,000 untied threads, half conversations, half promises, half believe me's to people who profit from your doubt. Tie them off. Rest is not you quitting. It's you choosing the only fight that wins long-term. Alignment. So when tomorrow lands soft and shaky, don't diagnose it as failure. Call it what it is, a holy low-power mode that protects the system while it updates. A day to be small on purpose, so the next chapter fits. Stay inside. Draw the curtains on arguments you can't win because they are designed not to end. Turn your face from the stage where people jog in circles and call it destiny. Some folks will call you distant because you finally got healthy. Let them. Those are watchers too. You don't have to hate them to keep them out. You only have to love your peace harder than you love their confusion. You'll feel the old pain trying to recruit you back, with memories that taste like honey at the start and poison at the end. You'll hear the familiar knock of a name you once waited on like rain. You'll be tempted to answer because your heart likes puzzles. But puzzles are what people hand you when they never plan to tell you the truth. Let the knock echo out. Sit with the ache. Face it like a window. Look through it. Don't walk into it. That ache is your body, finally trusting you to feel without bargaining. And that's where hope starts growing. Not the perky kind, not the fireworks kind, the slow green that breaks dirt no one thought could hold life again. Do you remember the day you were the family mascot for someone else's denial? You were the scapegoat when you named what hurt. You were the too sensitive one because you could hear the hum under people's words, and you dared to say that hum is fear. You were the dramatic one because your tears told the truth, their pride refused to speak. It hurt. It marked you. It made you believe that silence was safer than honesty. And still, somehow, somewhere, when no one was looking, you kept a tiny fire alive. You kept one corner of your mind uncolonized. You kept a room inside that you didn't rent to their opinions. That room is what we're returning to tomorrow. That room is where you charge. That room is where you'll cry for the things that deserved a tear and never got one. That room is where you whisper yes to the life that was always waiting on the other side of approval. Let me tell you something tender and necessary. It's okay to grieve the time you lost to people who didn't know how to love you. It's okay to cry for the birthdays you spent apologizing for your own existence, for the holidays that felt like surveillance more than home, for the friendships that made you feel like auditioning for the role of acceptable. It's okay to admit you trained your body to be readable so no one would punish you for being real. Those tears aren't weakness. They're the salt that makes the ground honest again. They're the way you tell your nervous system, I'm not abandoning you this time. And hope? Hope is not the promise that tomorrow will be loud and triumphant with strangers cheering your name. Hope is the promise that when Sunday 17th August feels soft and shaky, you'll stay, you'll breathe, you'll choose not to perform. Hope is the promise that the spiritual watchers who guard you will not clock out because you put your phone on Do Not Disturb. Hope is the promise that while the wrong ones misread your rest as arrogance, the right ones will find your quiet and recognize home. Hope is the whisper that says you can be ordinary today and still be holy. Charge your energy. Not by numbing, not by scrolling yourself into static, not by ruminating until your thoughts chew through your stomach. Charge by presence. Charge by choosing one room, one light, one cup of water, one honest sentence. Charge by refusing the games you can only lose. Explaining your worth to someone committed to misunderstanding it, debating your reality with an expert in revisionist history, caretaking adults who call chaos personality. Your energy is sacred real estate. Rent it to purpose, not panic. Rent it to love that pays on time, not attention that always needs extensions. Rent it to work that builds you, not busyness that brags about how tired it made you. Rest, not because you're lazy, not because you've given up, but because even heaven writes night into the schedule. Even Jesus left crowds and went to quiet hills on purpose. If he didn't rescue every demand, you're allowed to ignore a few notifications. There's a table being set in your absence. The meal will taste like peace. The drink will taste like relief. No one can eat it for you. Sit down. I know you're afraid of losing momentum. I know you think if you sit still, you'll forget how to move again. But momentum built on panic is just a pretty word for running from yourself. Let that version of forward die. There is a forward that feels like a deep exhale. There's a forward that says no for the first time and doesn't write a 3-paragraph apology afterward. There is a forward that deletes a number you've memorized in your bones and survives the tremble that follows. There is a forward that rests. It looks like nothing. It changes everything. Tomorrow, some of you will cry in kitchens again, not because you're broken, but because grief finally found a soft place to land. Let it. Some of you will strip your bed and wash your sheets because your body wants the smell of fresh. Do it. Some of you will write one sentence that closes a 5-year loop. Write it. Some of you will notice that the person who always made you small suddenly feels far away. Keep it that way. You don't owe them the ceremony of a goodbye they never earned. Quiet endings are still endings. The watchers will talk. Let them. The faithful watchers, seen and unseen, will stand a little closer. You'll feel it. In the middle of the soft day, a calm will slip into your chest and sit down like it belongs there. It does. The wrong watchers will reach for your old switches. Smile. Tell them those lights are on a new grid now. Tell them access expired. You don't have to slam the door, you can just not open it. That's also power. And when the sun begins to drop on Sunday, 17th August, step to your window for a moment. Look at the sky like it's a friend who came to check on you. Whisper, I stayed. Let the relief rise. Let the shame fall off like water. You did it. You refused to make noise for people who only listen when you bleed. You refused to perform belonging. You chose presence over proof. You chose to stay inside. Let me leave a mark on your memory, the kind that keeps you warm when the watchers study, when the storm looks like it's thinking about you again. On that lake, inside that boat, the waves didn't vote on your future. A tired man woke up, stood up, and spoke, and weather bent. In that garden, under that weight, strength arrived in the very hour that made his knees shake. Your story is not smaller than those nights. Your room is not beyond reach. If Jesus found sleep in a storm and strength in a garden, you're allowed to find rest in a Sunday that looks like weakness from the outside. If this word put breath back in you, don't keep it a secret. Comment, "I'm staying inside this Sunday," so your own mouth hears your decision. Hit subscribe so this cadence keeps meeting you right when the watchers get loud, like the exact song you needed turning up on the radio. Like the video so more chosen ones catch the signal instead of the bait. And send this to 2 people who think rest is failure. They're one Sunday away from flipping their whole story. You're not disappearing. You're deepening. You're not losing your edge. You're trading it for a spine. You're not going silent. You're tuning your voice to a pitch that liars can't sing along with. Tomorrow's weakness is the proof. The room is ready for you to stop performing and start being. And when you finally step back out, it won't be to audition for a life that never wanted the real you. It'll be to live the one that always did. Stay inside, beloved. Let the low-power light be holy. Let the watchers watch. Let your battery turn green. Let the storm hear your quiet. Let the garden send you strength. Sunday, 17th August, isn't the day you failed. It's the day you finally learned where your power actually lives. Amen.